Hello, this is Wendy. Hello, welcome back to the Living in Korea with Wendy Floor series. Remember last time, I talked about the F-5 or the permanent residency visa with regards to the experience of my husband and how he got to acquire the permanent residency. Apparently, there are new rules in the immigration, so I think it's harder to get the F-5 these days. But that one was just really about how he got it. Now, this time I'm going to talk about the F-2 visa, my F-2. I used to have F-3. F-3 is the dependence visa. It is given to the spouse or the dependents of somebody who has an E7 visa. So, as a background, my husband used to have E7, so I was granted the F3, and my sons were also granted the F3 or the dependence visa. Now, what was going to happen to us when he got the permanent residency? It's an immigration rule that when you're an F3 visa holder and then you're attached to the E7 visa of your husband, of your spouse, you've got to apply for the F2 or the long-term residency. It was not hard for my kids because they were minors. So what did they need? I'm checking the requirements here, no? What did they need in the case of my children? They just needed to have the application form. It's the same one in the Hi Korea website. So I'll put it down in the description below. You have to get the integrated application form appendix paper number 34. So you've got to fill that out, and then you bring also with you the ARC, the F3 ARC, and the photocopy of your passport, the birth certificate of the children, of the minors, photocopy of the father's F5 ARC, just the photocopy of the father's passport, photocopy of the mother's ARC, my ARC. So that time, my ARC was F3, but still, it's okay, you just attach it there. The photocopy of parents' marriage certificate, the one that we got from the Philippines. House contract, where the husband's name or the father's name is there to prove that you are living in that house. And the 130,000 won processing fee. Only that, very easy for kids, for the children to change from F3 dependence visa to F2 or the long-term residency visa. What happens to me? Because as an F3 visa holder or a dependence visa holder, I cannot work. So I was okay with that. Besides, that's really what I wanted, to be a stay-at-home mom, to be taking care of my children and my family. So it was a perfect setup. The F3 visa was good for me. But then again, because of the immigration rule, I had to apply for the F2 visa. The advantage, especially for those of you who want to work, the advantage of the F2 visa now is that you can work. You can legally work here in South Korea. Obviously, for me, it was stricter requirements. My husband had a more difficult time, and because I was applying under the dependence visa to the F2, the long-term residency visa, most of the requirements were from my husband, not really on me. So what are the requirements? First, the application form, number 34. It's the same application form that my husband, when he applied for the F5, and my children filled out. It's the same one. Photocopy of my passport. I had to surrender my ARC. There's a letter of guarantee. The letter of guarantee, you can get it from the forms in the same website, in the Hi Korea website. That has to be filled out by my husband. He is going to be my guarantor. He is my guarantor as an F-5 visa holder. Personal details form for F-2-3 visa. This form, you can get this from the immigration website. There is an English translation, so it's easy for me to fill out. There's another one, the invitation form, or the 추정장. You can get this from the immigration website as well, but this one must be filled out by your inviter. In my case, my husband. This is in Korean. So I had to ask from friends help in translating these questions. Although the form is in Korean, the questions are in Korean, we answered in English. And immigration accepted it. So I couldn't really answer questions whether it's strictly about writing in Korean, because from my experience, and just like with my husband's video for the F-5 permanent residency visa, we also talked about from our experience. So this one, based on experience, they gave it to us, or we submitted a form in Korean, answered by my husband in English. You've got to be patient with a form, because the questions there were all in Korean. I'm looking at my blog post. I'll put down the link below for my blog post. The questions there are very personal. How did we meet? If each of us had been married before. Even the information about my parents, my brother's family, my husband's salary, even how big our house is here in Korea, how many bedrooms our house has. So you've got to be really patient in answering these. Next is the housing contract. It should be under in my case, my husband's name. And a health check. I went to the Makugu Health Center. You've got to have health check about your mental illness, other common tests like hearing, eyesight, blood pressure. You can get that from the health center. But there's a specialized clinic or hospital for mental illness, tests for sexually transmitted diseases and HIV, and tuberculosis. These are important part of the health check. Of course, the NBI clearance, my husband also had to submit his for his F-5. For F-2, I also had to submit NBI clearance or police clearance. Photocopy of the passport of my husband as the main person or the guarantor. Photocopy of my husband's ARC. Certificate of employment of my husband. Current income. There's a form for this one, and you can get this from the National Tax Office. So you've got to request for that. Credit line of my husband. He was not asked for this. This was not a requirement under his F-5 visa application. The credit line, you can get it from, I'll put down the link below. It's http www.credit4u.or.kr, and you can get the credit line form. Our marriage contract, I submitted other documents that may add value to my application, although not required. So I submitted that certificate, citation from the Seoul government as exemplary member of the Seoul community. I think I have it in one of these. Oh, here! Can you actually see that one? So I got this award or citation. I also submitted a certification that I am an honorary reporter for Korea.net. So I don't have Korean language proficiency. I don't know if currently they already require it for those who are applying for long-term residency under the same situation as mine, under the same circumstances as mine, from F3 to F2. But that time in 2019, last year, I was not required to have the Korean proficiency. The requirements are more stringent compared with my sons because I can now legally work here in Korea. I got this F2 or the long-term residency visa for a year, more than a year already. I am legally allowed to work. They haven't worked yet. If you know of a work for me, let me know. So, yeah, because it's important to be in the house for my children, especially we didn't expect this, right? The pandemic. I am more than grateful for my husband to have given me this choice from the start of our marriage to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. I do freelance writing. I don't earn money. I wish I do. That's why I'm doing YouTube. So, click down and subscribe and help me. But yeah, that's how I got my F3 to F2 visa. So yes, I can legally work if my children are capable already. They're 10 and 13. If the world situation is better for now, yeah, I'm here. I am working. I work at home. I work for my children and my husband. Anyway, I have this Living in Korea with Wendy Floor series. I have a playlist below. Click it and you can check some more of the other videos. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can have more videos about the Filipino family living here in Seoul and about the other activities that I do that may somehow, in some way, inspire others who are stay-at-home moms like me and those who would like to explore more of the things that they can do here in Korea. But when it comes to earning money, it's not my forte. See you in another video. I will be doing another video under the Living in Korea with Wendy Floor series. The next episode will be International Schools here in Korea.